Welcome to the Gritcast, where we get into the nitty-gritty of all things hockey. From the East to the West Coast. Here are your hosts, Matt Pierce, Nikosh Ganguly, and Darius Dominguez.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gritcast, episode number 37. Look at us, fellas. Look at us, fellas. We're here. We're back. Stanley Cup final is well on its way. Vegas is up 2-0. We will dive into that a little bit later into the show. But first things first, Matt, Darius, how'd your weeks go? How's everyone doing today? We good?
Be good. Just getting into the swing of the summer season, fellas.
Summer is here, and nobody in the GTA can breathe.
Nah, I'm chilling. Personally.
No, like really, how bad is it? Is it like
it's not that bad.
It's not
like,
that bad.
Now,
yesterday
like,
was like at times I could feel it, but
was it like orange like New York?
No, they're saying
York...
tomorrow might be like that for us here, but
okay.
They were saying that about today, so I don't know. We'll see.
Because that almost didn't look real, like the pictures I saw of like
crazy.
New York.
Also,
crazy.
Photoshop exists, so we don't know for sure. But anyway.
Yeah. Don't believe it. Don't believe everything you guys see, as Darius says.
Exactly.
But
you saw that photo on Facebook? It must be true.
This is my thing. Like, I love going on Facebook, and it's like, guys, I'm 22 years old, and I make $100K every month, and here's how you do it. Because, like, you know, if we could all make $100,000 a month, I'm sure we all would.
Yeah,
but, you know,
there's so much money out there. If you don't have a Lambo by 25, then really, what are you doing, right?
You're a fucking loser.
We're just wasting time here, fellas.
Exactly.
Nah, I'm wasting time with you, Matt, you dick. Okay, all right. Let's get into the show here.
Welcome
guys.
to the Gritcast.
Welcome to the show again. As we keep on saying, little trade, not even little, a big trade went down in the NHL a couple of days ago. Matt, if you could for me, if you have it up, can you break down the trade? What do we got?
All I know for sure is that Ivan Provorov went from the Philadelphia Flyers to the Columbus Blue Jackets. If I could just pull up this trade here. So yeah, Columbus acquired Provorov in a 3-team trade that also included the Kings. Philly acquired goaltender Cal Peterson, defenseman Sean Walker, a prospect Helgi Grants, whoever that is. That's like auto-generated if I've ever heard one. A first-round pick in the 2023 NHL draft, which I believe is 22nd overall. A second-round pick in the 2024 NHL draft, and a conditional second-rounder also in next year's draft. Los Angeles acquired defenseman Kevin Connaughton, who seems to go to every team in the league now. Forward Hayden Hodgson, and 30% of Ivan Provorov's contract, which I believe was $2 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so basically in this trade, LA gets the opportunity to shed all of Cal Peterson's massive contract. I think it was like $5 million for like a decent amount of years. He had a decent year in LA before he got that contract, and then, as you know, with goalies, randomly they stop remembering how to, or they start remembering how to stop pucks. Mm-hmm. And that became evident with Cal Peterson. And then Philly makes out pretty well here to get rid of Ivan Provorov, who dealt with some off-ice stuff earlier in the season. And they take on Cal Peterson's contract. They're trying to be bad, so it doesn't really matter who's in there for them. And they get a first-round pick and multiple seconds in doing so. And LA, on the other hand, this leads to them being able to re-sign Vladislav Gavrikov, as you said, 2 years, $5.75 million, if I recall correctly. Yeah, they tiny piece of work. They're retaining 30% of Provorov's contract, which is less than what Peterson's making anyway, so it works out for them. And I guess Columbus, you know, they get Ivan Provorov, so they think he's a good player. And I don't know about you guys. I think Danny Briere made an amazing trade for his first mark as a Flyers GM. Darius, what did you see from Briere here?
That's a good haul for Provorov, honestly. I know you're probably going to get a little bit more because he's not a UFA coming into like next season. Like, you still get 2 years out of him if you're Columbus in this trade. But that's a good haul. I think they got like 2 second-round picks, right? Including one next year, so that's great. And then on the LA side of things, they get rid of a goaltender that it didn't look like they were going to move forward with Peterson. I feel like he lost a spot kind of there in their rotation there last season. And yeah, Columbus, I mean, they got Provorov's a good serviceable defenseman. He's probably going to get a raise after next year. And there's retained salary, and they get him for another 2 years. So as Columbus continues to build, I don't know what they're going to look like next year, especially with their new coach, who we're going to get to. it's an interesting trade, but I feel like out of all three teams, Philly got the best deal here.
I like the trade. I like the trade for Philly in terms of like in a vacuum. I think Philly wins the trade. But I think when you look at the peripherals, I like the trade a lot for LA as well. They get rid of an anchor in Cal Peterson. They're a team that's supposed to. They might have some guys to pay soon. They're trying to get better every year. They still have guys like Kopitar and Doughty making a lot of money, and they're supposed to kind of propel them to this kind of new era in Kings hockey where they're just trying to break through into, maybe a potential Stanley Cup in their future because they're still so young. And they have to re-sign or acquire a new goalie because Jonas Corposalo is a UFA. They bet on him, and at the trade deadline, they acquired him. Gave them amazing regular season minutes, and then he got absolutely chased by the Oilers. Yep. So, Matt, my question is to you is, do you think it would make sense for the Kings to bring back Corposalo after that playoff run he had?
I think if you give him a full season, I think for him to get adjusted to the Kings style, the Kings system, he could turn out to be a much better goalie than what they paid for and received in the playoffs.
For sure. What did you see from Corposalo while watching him? What was kind of off with him, or what do you think the Kings? Do you think it's worth the Kings to take a flyer on him?
Yeah, I mean, in the playoff series against Edmonton, like he had his flashes of brilliance, but then of course, the buzzsaw of McDavid and Draisaitl and the Oilers power play torching him kind of got in his head a little bit there. But like games 1 and 2, the first 2 games of the series, he was unstoppable for the most part.
Yeah, so I think it could be a decent look for them. But there is an interesting topic of discussion to have here about Connor Hellebuyck. A lot of stuff coming out of Winnipeg, including Pierre-Luc Dubois trade requests, which we'll also be able to discuss when we talk about Montreal a little bit later. But I think what LA really needs is a consistent starting goalie. And I don't know if Corposalo has been consistent here. And Connor Hellebuyck, easily the most consistent goalies over the past few years. Consensus top 5, arguably top 3 goalie over the past half decade. Darius, do you think LA could take a swing at Connor Hellebuyck?
I think it's something that makes sense for them and that they definitely should look at. I think he makes sense for a lot of teams. And I think any team really, yeah. And he makes, like, his cap hit makes sense. Like, he could fit in anywhere. Like, he's a stud goalie. He's not entirely old. Like, he's not on the back 9 or whatever. He would make sense for a lot of teams. And I think the Jets, like you mentioned, Pierre-Luc Dubois, like the Jets are falling, right? Like they're going to start relying on the young guys to come up, but they're going to have to surround them with some more pieces. That main core is on its way out. We know that. So you might as well get rid of Hellebuyck too and get a nice haul for him, something in return. So I think it just makes sense for all parties. The Jets got to move on from that. And I think it makes sense for the Kings. The Kings are going to need a goalie. We know that. They moved on from Quick. They're going to need a goalie. They have some guys in the system like Jacob Ingham coming up. And who's the other guy? Phoenix Copley. Like, he was all right, but I don't know if he's the answer. So it makes sense for them. I think Hellebuyck makes sense for a lot of teams.
You could list basically any team and be like, yeah, you could probably fit there. But the topic of conversation moves a lot to also the Flyers because as the trade was developing for Provorov, someone came out and said, I forgot who it was, I think multiple sources said they might be looking at moving on from Carter Hart, which is very interesting because at one point people penciled him in as Canada's starter at the Olympics, and then obviously they didn't go to Olympics, and he had a piss poor season, but he had a good season last year on a terrible Flyers team, a team that was very bad, and Connor Hellebuyck was one of their decent
Carter Hart,
was one of their decent players, and I think he was like a league average goalie. Although surprisingly, I don't know if you guys knew this, but league average save percentage this past season was .899.
Trash.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
So I think we're coming to a point where we might have to adjust our expectations for how good a goalie save percentage is going to be.
I'm willing to bet that Jack Campbell is the reason why that average is down.
Didn't he have like an 874 or something absolutely awful this season?
I know.
Something like that. Bad. And then he played well in the playoffs in relief. Because, goalies, right?
Yep, goalies. And Carter Hart there hasn't been really any teams that have been thrown out there explicitly yet. I still think he could probably work with the Kings, which just because we just talked about them. There was some discussion. There's always some discussion. Whenever a decent player is out there, someone's always going to tweet, oh, the Leafs, they're around it. I don't know if that's going to happen because the Leafs still have to get rid of Matt Murray. They're going to re-sign Ilya Samsonov, and they have Joseph Wool. So I don't really think that's an option. But my question to you guys is, if Carter Hart gets moved, number one, where do you think he would fit best? Or where do you think he's going to go? Matt, I'll deflect to you first.
I'm going to go off the board here, and I'm going to go with Montreal. Because I think as a young goalie, as he, gets in with the rebuild in Montreal, when they start to get a lot stronger, I think he fits in well there. Even with Jake Allen, I think Allen has 2 years left, and then Montembeault, not too sure on his contract status.
Mm-hmm. That's not a bad fit.
I think the Leafs, that's an interesting kind of, to squeeze him in there, that'd be pretty interesting. But you got to figure something out with Matt Murray. You also have 2 goalies in Samsonov and Wool, so I don't know how that would work. So that's interesting.
Like
Montreal,
too many cooks in the kitchen.
Way too
that's
many
what
right
it
now.
would be.
Yeah, I don't know how that even fits. I don't know why that was even brought up. But anyway, there would have to be a lot of musical chairs going on. Montreal makes a lot of sense. You got Jake Allen again, Montembeault, but I feel like Carter Hart is moving into the future, especially better than both those guys. You know who needs a goalie though, guys? Pittsburgh Penguins need a goalie.
Ooh, Tristan Yarry is a UFA, and I think Kyle Dubas did say it is a priority to try and get him signed.
But not a chance Philly would trade to Pittsburgh.
That'd be interesting though, wouldn't it? But
it's like here division rival.
Yeah,
here's our
not even division rival. Here's state rival. Here's city just a few miles away.
Here hated city.
Yeah.
Have our star goalie.
Yeah. No,
yeah,
but
I think,
not saying it's gonna happen. I just think that would be Pittsburgh needs a goalie, and Carter Hart is allegedly available. So
yeah, it'd be nice. I think a lot of teams are always in need of it's crazy. You always hear about these teams who are like, oh, they have they have a goalie, but is he the guy to bring them to a deep playoff run?
Yeah.
And then Vegas is running out Bressois, Aiden Hill, and Jonathan Quick is in tandem. So it's interesting. I think goalies are the most important part of a team. Obviously, if you don't have a good goalie, you can't succeed. And with guys like Carter Hart and Connor Hellebuyck potentially being available, 2 very different guys. Connor Hellebuyck has been consistent top 5 talent, and Carter Hart is still the book's not out on him just yet. But a lot of interesting stuff could happen because I think because the free agency class is so dull this season, we might have some more trades because teams want good players and there's not many just available to sign. Andreas Athanasiou just got a $4.5 million average deal. And I know Chicago's trying to hit the cap floor. That guy's not worth that much money.
No. Yeah, that's just a floor move.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They're going to have to keep a guy like that, though, because that's going to be hard to move at the deadline.
No, even 50% retained 2 years from now. It's and Athanasiou's not that great. Matt, you had him in Edmonton. How was he there, bro?
He didn't even
not
play.
For very, not for very long because we got him at the 2020 trade deadline and then played a handful of games and then he was useless in the bubble against Chicago. So,
you know what my favorite trade is? The Oilers getting Mike Green.
For 2 games of Mike Green,
geez.
and then he decided.
Crap.
I'm pretty sure it was 2 games. Boy, that's going to be a great trivia contest.
The Mike Green trade is hilarious.
Yeah, name all the teams Mike Green played for. He got Washington and Detroit.
3? It's just 3?
Washington. 2. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Washington, Detroit, and Edmonton.
Oh, yeah. They played in Detroit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the Ken Holland special trade of his old team.
Yep, fellas, everyone listening, get ready for the off-season content because it might be a slow off-season. It just might be. But moving on from that trade here, as we talked about earlier, the coaches, they keep getting moved around. Everyone is changing. Not everyone's even have jobs are filled yet, including the Calgary Flames. I feel like Mitch Love might be their guy. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, it's Mitch Love's a fresh new face instead of bringing in somebody that was regurgitated through half the league, Laviolette.
Yeah, Laviolette. And then the Ducks hired Greg Cronin, former coach of the Colorado Eagles of the AHL, and former assistant coach to Randy Carlyle, and also Leafs great Peter Horacek. So he's certainly one of the coaches of all time. That's what I'll say.
It's a new face though, instead of the names. Yeah.
He's certainly a coach.
He certainly is. I don't know anything about him to really give you any analysis on that, but the Ducks love anybody related to Randy Carlyle, it seems like, or just Randy Carlyle, guys in Anaheim. They love that guy, but the Ducks, they need to be a hockey team this coming season. So hopefully, bringing in a guy like Cronin could help that. They have a good draft pick, second overall. Who they take with that? Maybe Fantilli, maybe even Mishkov. Who knows? There's so many guys. Mason McTavish has to get better. Jamie Drysdale was out a lot of the season with injury. As Trevor Zegras is amazing, Troy Terry's still good, and they have what's his name? Olin
Zellweger.
Yeah, Zellweger. Yeah.
And John Gibson, it sounds like he wants to be traded. So a lot of stuff to happen in Anaheim.
Pittsburgh.
We didn't even bring up John Gibson in our conversation because that guy makes a lot of money, and he's still riding that like 1 year we had like a 9-30. Because he hasn't been great ever since, but maybe it's a change of scenery. So I think we'll see what happens in Anaheim. In Columbus, though, Mike Babcock is back in the league. Not today, but July 1st. It seems like Mike Babcock is back in the league. Guys, what do you think about Babcock in Columbus?
He doesn't last 2 years.
Yeah. This is a 1 year thing.
Like out of all the guys to bring in, Jarmo Kekalainen is thinking Mike Babcock with all the young talent that he has. No, that's the wrong move for like the culture that Babcock has. Like it's been told numerous times, like in Detroit, in Toronto, like he's got his favorites, and if he doesn't like you, then he's gonna make it known.
Yeah, I think there's that quote from Franzen where he's like, "Coach, good coach, can win. Person, worst person I've ever met." And I don't know if that's a good thing. I really don't think that's a good thing.
But a lot of players fucking hate Mike Babcock.
Mike Commodore hates that guy's guts. Like, if you've ever listened to anything he said about Mike Babcock, like, he would fight him on sight. Like, he hates that guy. And so many players. Like, Franzen, like I mentioned, too, hates him. There's a bunch of guys. And the thing he did to Marner is so grade 3. It's unbelievable that actually
even
happened.
Chris Chelios was like,
yeah,
like one of like the best players ever was like, hey man, I don't like old middle-aged white guy was like, hey man, I don't really know about this.
Yeah.
So you got to really ask the question there.
The only other coach I know of that was that hated was Mike Keenan. Because there's not many good things that players said about Mike Keenan, but like Keenan and Babcock make like guys like Torts look like angels. Yeah, because like even the American players like Torts, even if his politics suck, but
even with his resume though. Sorry to cut you off, Matt. Like he's won a Stanley Cup and he's won Olympic gold. I could have won Olympic gold behind that bench.
Okay, but he won Olympic gold with Rick Nash.
Yeah, see, this is
2010
and Brendan Morrow
and Rick Nash was vital in the decision to hire Mike Babcock because he was coached for maybe like 7 or 8 games in the Olympics 13 years ago.
That's right.
Guys, how old were you 13 years ago?
13?
I was...
I would have been 10.
Yeah, Matt, nice math. Yeah. I would have been 7. 7! You know what grade I was in 2013? Guys? Sorry, or 2010? Like the second grade.
Second grade?
Yeah. But nah, man, he played with him, and he, helped the decision because...
He enjoyed his 2 weeks with the coach.
Babcock's going to come in, and what's he going to do? He's going to coach Johnny Gaudreau. He's going to coach Patrick Laine. He's going to coach Kent Johnson, Zach Rowinski. He's going to coach all these guys because, in Toronto, he clearly made everyone better after that first, or second year.
Yeah, for
sure. This hiring is awful. I don't know what the hell Jarmo Kekalainen is thinking. And Jarmo Kekalainen has had, 19 coaches for him. I swear to God.
Hey, okay. A lot of people talk about Kekalainen in a high regard. At what point do we talk about this guy like he hasn't done shit?
No, they won a playoff series.
That's right. They swept.
They won the playoff series.
The playoff series of all time.
And then they went to Boston and got their fucking shit kicked.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
They're riding that high. That's what they were doing.
No, but Yarmo, he lost. Panarin dipped, Bobrovsky dipped, Duchesne dipped. They all dipped right after. He brings in Gaudreau, but it doesn't seem like he had to do too much there because it sounded like Gaudreau just wanted to go to Columbus for some reason.
It's insane that Gaudreau signed in Columbus over New Jersey to me. It's insane. Because you'd be closer to family in Jersey anyway.
I mean, Philly didn't have enough money.
No. They had to keep Tony DeAngelo. Let's
suck.
go!
Yeah, and they suck. Terrible.
What a joke. I don't know what Mike Babcock. I think it's definitely a fun little storyline to follow. But, I think you needed to bring an offensively minded running gun coach to that kind of team. They have a lot of young players coming up. Kent Johnson should be a star at some point. And Columbus also needs, any center. Any center.
Yeah.
They have no centers.
Also, Laine is, really overlooked in all of this.
You
need to get a guy like that going, right? I don't look at Mike
Babcock. He had a good
season. I know, but he can produce even more, right? If you get that guy as centerman, but then you look at the way Babcock normally treats players and coaches and his style of coaching, and especially if they were to get into the playoffs. In what world does this work? Does this make sense? And I heard that they talked to the players about hiring BOBCAT, and remember when Paul Romanuk called him BOBCAT? Dude, I love
Paul
that
Romanuk, man, that guy.
They talk to the players, whatever, and they're like, yeah, for sure, man, all good. And I'm like, are we sure about that? So I don't know. I just think it's interesting, man. I don't know if it makes sense at all.
No, it's stupid. It's stupid signing. It's very dumb. But I don't know. I don't know why Mike Babcock is back in this league. Hire someone else, possibly. I think that might make more sense.
Yeah.
But the question me and Matt were talking before the show started. The Quebec Ramparts just won the Memorial Cup.
In dominating fashion too, nonetheless.
Good fucking team. Coached by maybe a pretty good coach, Patrick Waugh. And every time there's a coaching vacancy, his name is thrown in there a little bit. Do you guys think Patrick Waugh can make a return to the NHL behind the bench?
You know where he'd have a good fit, and it's not Pittsburgh, Darius. Columbus. Columbus would have been a fit for Patrick Waugh.
That would be.
But no.
Yeah.
But no, they got to go with Mike Babcock, who's going to scratch somebody on their...
Mike Babcock.
Yeah.
On their birthday. Oh, yeah. I heard it's your birthday. Up to the box, buddy.
Oh, buddy. Oh, you're playing in your hometown? And
that's
your
nice.
Your whole family's here? You're not playing.
That's nice. Yeah, hand out programs. Yeah.
You're not playing. You're not playing.
Wild.
Go get some popcorn and enjoy the game with them. You fucking idiot. But I don't know.
Yeah, go watch the game with them, they're in town? All right, that's nice.
Yeah. Go enjoy. And then
go catch up.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Jason Spezza, you signed with your hometown team. Your whole family's here. It's the home opener.
Scratch.
Who did he scratch? Nick Shore.
Nick Shore played that game. Isn't that
Shore.
wild? That guy's not even in the NHL anymore.
Nope. Nor is Spezza, but he retired. So
that's a lot different,
who did he scratch? Oh, Mike Madonna. It was
he didn't get 1,500 games.
Yeah.
$14.99.
Oh, that's the worst out of all of them.
How did he okay that? If I'm a Dano, I'm fighting somebody that day. There's no way I come into the dressing room, see my number on the board, and I'm not fighting somebody.
Can I say, I don't know the ins and outs of that story. Couldn't he just play another game somewhere else?
I think it was already decided that he was retiring, and then it was the last game of the year. He scratched them.
Oh,
or something like that. Yeah.
And then over the offseason, he signed a 1 day with Dallas to retire as a star.
He should have signed
but he didn't play.
He should have signed 1 year with Dallas at league min, play the home opener, get 1,500, and then just retire the next day or something.
Or maybe just play the guy. He wasn't hurt. What are we doing? And Detroit missed the playoffs that year. What are you doing? What are you doing?
No, Detroit. They made the playoffs that year.
Detroit had a 23-year run, bro.
2025.
No, wasn't that 20? When was the last time they made it? 2013.
2016.
When do you think Mike Modano retired, bro?
I don't know. Let's find out.
I'm pretty sure he retired in 2010 because he played 1 year with Detroit.
2011. So yes.
Oh, 20. So yeah, they made the playoffs. They even won a round.
They definitely did. Yeah.
Nice job, Darius. You fucking historian. Oops. Okay. All right. Next up.
Don't listen to us for history.
Patrick Waugh.
Oh, Matt, you're usually good at history.
Yeah, but Darius isn't.
Matt's a fucking encyclopedia when it comes to weird shit like
I know. Did you know that the Dallas Stars had this patch on their jersey that year?
that. Hey Matt, this wrestler on this day did what? Oh, well, guys, here's a YouTube clip that has 3 views, but I know where it is.
3 views, yeah, it's unlisted. I have the link. I have the link.
But guys, Patrick Waugh. I think he could was okay. To be honest, guys, I don't remember his tenure in Colorado enough because I wasn't paying attention.
It wasn't great.
He won the Jack Adams. What do you mean it wasn't great?
Yeah, and then what happened, Matt? How did it
And
end?
then he didn't win the Jack Adams.
Yeah. How did it end the
No,
next
but
year?
guys, you gotta understand. He pulled this goalie with 12 minutes left.
Because I'm pretty sure his first season they went to the first round. They were heavily favored over Minnesota and they lost in 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know why he won the Jack Adams? Because the year he took over, they just got McKinnon. They were last. They were last place, and they made the playoffs, so he won the Jack Adams. But
Patrick Waugh.
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. I think
Patrick Waugh.
I think if he wanted to coach in the NHL, there would be a job for him. I would think, but I just don't know if he wants to. It seems like he's happy. Yeah, I think he's happy coaching in Quebec, and they're always really good. And they play in money. Yeah, exactly. And they play in a big arena. Like a lot of people come out.
An NHL ready arena, by the way.
Did you see the viewing party for the Memorial Cup? Junior. Yeah. It's a junior team, and they had a viewing party with thousands of people outside.
I kind of like when that kind of stuff happens, like when like teams gather around like non-NHL or all league teams. Cool. Yeah. It's cool to see. Yeah. Like, yo, Darius, when's our Steelheads watch party?
Next year, man, they're going all the way.
Gotta go. Yo, me and you. That's it,
bro. They're going next 2 years. They Memorial Cup champions. The Sox Steelheads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool that one, fellas.
Yep.
But
they have 2 goalies. They have 2 all-star goalies.
And they also have 2 fans in the stands too. Every night is dressed like a seat night at the Paramount Fine Food Center.
I'm talking about the on-ice product. Yeah, the team.
They don't even have fries. Okay. Anyway.
They do now. Actually, they do.
The fries are back.
The fries are back.
Okay.
Breaking news.
No, the thing what's cool. The thing I always liked about the Steelers was like they're very analytic heavy. One of like the first kind of junior teams to do that, and you kind of saw it like work out sometimes with like.
What do you mean nobody saw it, Nick?
Nobody was at the relax.
This guy's a hater.
No, but I'm saying like they would acquire some like random players, and then they'd be like point of game players in the OHL.
Yeah.
So it's like
and and at the time like nobody's doing that in the OHL. You know, it's just like he scores. Okay, we'll trade for him.
Yep.
Let's
acquire this goalie. It's like when you acquire a goalie who has like an 860, but you're like, oh, wait a minute. The other team is very, very poo.
Oh, wait. The other team has won 4 games all year. Yes.
See, that's a much better. That's a better strategy than London buying their players. But I didn't say that.
Hey,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about, man? That doesn't happen.
All right, so
Patrick
Waugh.
Have you guys heard about the Niagara Ice Dogs? What happened with them?
They got penalized
one
again,
thing,
right?
Yeah, it's one thing after another with that.
Dude, it's just a dumping ground now. It's terrible. Like it's so bad. And I think they won like 9 games last year, like out of 68.
Oh man, but guys, Patrick Waugh.
Yes.
Right. Patrick Waugh.
Waugh.
So speaking of Patrick Waugh, he played on the Montreal Canadiens, and they extended Cole Caufield. Shout out to my transition there. Thank you. They gave Cole Caufield, what was it, an 8-year deal? Or 7?
8 times 725. Yeah.
Good contract, man.
785. That is a good
contract. I like the contract. The greatest 40 goal scorer to never score 40 goals.
Yep.
Shout out to I think Cole Caufield, that's a good contract for him. He comes in at less than Suzuki, and those 2 guys are locked up forever and ever. So good. I don't really have too much to say. I think Cole Caufield is going to be a good player for a long time. I think to me that guy's going to be like a perennial 40-goal scorer eventually if he's able to stay healthy. And they got him locked up for a long time. Do you guys have any qualms with the contract?
Yep.
No, it's the Habs. They have money to spend anyways, so may as well give them a payday.
Right now, the Habs have money to spend. They still need a number 1 center.
Suzuki?
Yeah. What do you mean?
I don't think he's a number 1 center. Oh, we can get into this. I don't think he's a number 1 center. On a championship team, Nick Suzuki? I don't think so. A great second-line center, but they need like a number 1 guy.
Wasn't that just, Pierre-Luc Dubois, he's coming over.
Yeah, soon. No, left winger. I think listen, Habs fans always give like Leafs fans always take like the brunt of everything, whatever. So I'm going to make the point that this guy hasn't scored 30 goals yet, right? And he got a $8 million contract, $7 million contract. Sorry.
Okay, but like that was the same conversation with Matthews, where it's like the best 50-goal scorer to never score 50 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like you know he's going to or whatever.
Yeah, it's just like you just have to stay healthy essentially. And
Well, do that.
Yeah, well, I know health is an asset, but at the end of the day, he's young. I honestly, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a horrible contract at all. And I think he basically like I thought Cole Caufield would get like an 8x8. He came in at less than that, and I don't mind the contract at all. And I think Montreal has a lot of young guys, and I remember going through this with the Leafs. You think every young guy is going to reach their ceiling, and most of the time they never do. So they have a guys you got to keep those cupboards stocked, and guys like Lane Hudson, Sapkowski. I don't know what's going to go on with him, but he's 19 years old, so it's like there's still something to be had there.
He needs to figure out the league, like how to play. I don't know how to describe it better than that, but he's not.
Well, you said it best at the beginning of the season. He was a clunky Pierre Engvall.
He is, yeah, and I'll stand by that. Right now, he still is. Like he needs to learn how to play in the league.
That guy should have went back to go play in Europe, or should have went to the AHL.
He should have went to the AHL because the AHL is close, right? It's just that like there's a bit of a gap between skill, right, and speed and physicality. But like playing in Europe, it's not like to come straight into the NHL at 18. I'm pretty sure he was still 18. Like you have to. It's so different. You have to learn everything over again.
Yeah,
it's like the
NHL isn't. It's not a development league.
No,
like
no.
it's
no.
Slavkovsky is like a small fish in a big pond.
Mm-hmm.
Like go to Laval, play a full season there, learn the North American game, and then come up to the NHL when he's ready.
Yeah, I think he has the potential to be.
There's
a first overall pick.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even if he wasn't going first overall, he was still like consensus top 5 around that area. So it's like there's definitely something to be had there. It's to me, it's just as a Leafs fan, it's just funny, like to make jokes about it. Like I'm being honest, like it's funny, like for banter, but taking that away, like being unbiased, like the guy's 19 years old, and I think eventually he will be fine. And Montreal, they're young, as Matt said, they locked up their core of Josh Anderson, Brendan Gallagher.
See, I'm gonna disclaimer. Didn't know Gallagher only played 37 games this year. The other two, I'm not ashamed by.
Josh Anderson, part of the core. Gotta lock in here.
I gotta get rid of that guy.
That's grit. What do you mean?
The Gritcast?
He stinks. He scored 21 goals and 20 of them
no,
were against
buddy.
the Leafs.
Let me tell you. Concussions only add character.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. But guys, let me tell you something, guys. Because in our most recent Instagram reels, we talked about how hockey should be inclusive and like that it's not okay to be homophobic. We should not be called the Gritcast because we don't have the grit.
That's right.
Would it be the leftist cast now?
Yep, we're the leftist cast.
Instagram sometimes reminds me how dumb people are. Not only that, but how like you could be like, here is my point, and somebody will be like, you're wrong, and I hate you for this other reason. And I'm like, oh, okay, but I thought we were talking about this, and then they'll just be like, no.
We were literally like, our general consensus point was like, hockey shouldn't be like racist or homophobic, and people were like, "What the hell is wrong with you?"
Yeah,
like, what?
Don't tell me how to live my life.
I'm like, what? Like,
it's quite funny, and
I'll
double down on that take all the time. So
yeah.
It's I don't really care.
But also the clip was like, if you want to know more about what we were talking about, check us out, youtube.com/the Gritcast.
Yes, sir.
You should just watch the whole podcast to see the whole conversation.
No, but the interactions, they're nice, whether they're good or bad. So,
fellas, moral of the story here. Don't be an asshole. Don't be an asshole.
No. The moral of the story.
Am I wrong?
The moral of the story is to be an asshole. Because everyone in the
that's where I got it wrong.
Everyone in the Instagram comments said we were wrong for saying homophobia is bad.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Hey, don't be a dick. No.
Wait a minute.
Wrong.
You're ruining
wrong.
My sport.
Yeah.
Why won't you let me be a dick?
Yeah.
Come on.
The sport I love where we never know the rules between April and June. Sport.
No, man. I love that my sport's rules don't matter when the games matter the most. But
why have a whistle?
No, why?
I can't wait to get into the finals talk because I have so much to say about that shit.
Well, unbelievably, the Stanley Cup Finals talk is our next topic, guys. So, what do we think, guys? of the Stanley
It's
Cup.
over.
It's over.
It's over. You guys think it's Jover?
It's
Jover.
It's
It's
Lebrover.
it's Jover.
Lebrover?
It's Lebrover.
Is it Trudeauver?
It's
Trudeauver.
No, God, you know why?
I haven't
Because
heard
you gotta think though. Justin Trudeau, is why, like, the air in America's in shambles. Our
Oh,
fault.
Yeah.
Our fault. It's our fault.
Oh, he's also the reason why Canada hasn't won a Stanley Cup since '93.
Yeah, because he's been the prime minister
that's
the whole time.
That's one
The
of
whole time.
that's one of many reasons. It's not.
Also,
it's not even. It's,
no,
it's not just Trudeau's fault.
disclaimer. I don't think Trudeau's the greatest prime minister. I don't think anyone's ever like. I think all politicians suck, but it's just funny. Yeah, I just want to say that before everyone in the comments is like,
Taking it serious?
Yeah.
How could
before,
you
like,
not read that this is satire? First of all,
because
if you're in the comments right now,
it's the internet. It's the internet,
I know,
Darius.
I
It's
know.
the internet.
See, I don't mean to get political, but I love when politicians go on TV. It's like, yeah, I care for you, and then they get elected and they don't do anything about it.
it happens every time.
They're hired liars. They're hired liars.
All they're missing is a wig and a red nose, because that's all they are.
So what do we think about Florida and Vegas?
I think Vegas is very good. Like like Florida, you know, they figured out how to beat the weak loser Eastern Conference teams that have no fight, no pushback, no bite.
That's
but
right.
now Vegas, that team is fucking. First of all, they're fucking huge. Like, they're a massive team. And number two is they're not slow. They're not slow because they're big. Like Jack Eichel too, having the what was it, the third best playoffs, like, of someone being there for the first time.
First time, yeah.
Yeah. He's fucked. Jack Eichel's so good.
Jonathan Marchessault is that dog.
He's a dog.
Oh, he's a
dog.
dog. He's a
Mark
dog.
Stone's a fucking pit bull, bro.
Yeah.
That guy's crazy. And then you look at their defense. Their defense is huge. They're huge and they're good. Bro, Shea Theodore, Alex Pietrangelo, I swear people don't talk about those two guys being a 1-2 punch enough.
It's crazy.
Those two are crazy. It's insane.
Like any one of them can walk the line.
They don't play on the same pairing. Like, that's scary.
But you got guys like what was in game 2, White Cloud walked the line and scored. Alec Martinez, first goal of the playoffs. What was he? There was a stat like it was the 18th different goal scorer for the Knights?
For Vegas, yeah.
Dude,
in the playoffs?
William Carey is like the best fourth liner ever.
Him and Kolasar puck protection is insane. Like, I didn't know too much about him, but watching closely, like, wow.
That team was deep. That team was 4 lines deep.
Crazy. Yeah, they have an identity.
Ivan Barbashev, what an acquisition.
Yeah.
What an acquisition.
Did I not call it in the first playoff preview show that Ivan Barbashev was going to step up for the Knights?
I don't remember that, Matt.
Okay, well, I did, and I said it. So, but like, you could name anybody on that Knights team, and there'd be nothing to show for what they didn't do. Like Barbashev.
No, exactly. This is my thing where it's like, I go through their roster. They have no like evidently bad players. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can go through like Florida and be like Mark Stahl and Eric Stahl, they're kind of ass. But like, you go to like Vegas and it's like, this guy's like, you know, a positive contributor. All 4 lines, all 3 deep pairs. Aiden Hill is giving them exactly what they need. That insane paddle save was freaking crazy. I don't know what's going on over it. Yeah, like in that moment. And you go to Florida side and the lights too bright?
The lights are certainly too bright.
The lights are too bright, and the lack of discipline is starting to show, especially from like the top guys. Like your best players, you expect them to, you know, it's the Stanley Cup final. Keep a calm head. Calm, cool, collected, the 3 C's, you know, and guys like Kachuk, nothing to show for when it comes to leadership.
He killed Eichel last game.
One thing
that was in charge.
I think people already knew, but it's very evident now, is Kachuk has no restraint. Like, he cannot stop. Like, if somebody pisses him off, like, he's gonna take your head off, and he's gonna get the penalty or he's gonna get kicked out. Like, he cannot hold back, and I think that's really detrimental to himself and Florida. Like, it's showing right now.
And the way the two coaches are like holding themselves, like Maurice is unhinged, complaining after every game, and then Bruce Cassidy's just chilling.
Like, by the way,
all Pomo does is complain, bro. Jesus Christ.
Definitely. But if Vegas wins, Bruce Cassidy, biggest dunk of all time. Biggest dunk of all time. They fired him in his living room. He went to Vegas. He wins the cup, and the Bruins were out in the first round, and he beat the team that beat the Bruins. That's the biggest dunk of all time, bro.
That's sick.
That's crazy.
Also, when Marshall scored and Vegas, the Knights account tweeted from the Florida campus, Vegas selects Jonathan Marchessault. Oh my God! Because guys, they had to keep Alex Petrovic.
I don't even know
Oilers
that guy
legend
is.
Alex Petrovic.
No, but you know what's so funny? I was going on Twitter the other day. Alex Petrovic just got an extension with the Dallas Stars. So, good for him.
Oh, so he's not in the Stanley Cup final right now.
Oh,
Good for him. Good for him.
That's horrible.
Yeah, but I don't think Alex Line went in last game because they got shelled. And I think Florida was Bobrovsky or not, they're still like a well-constructed playoff team. You can see the way they were playing.
Mm-hmm.
But if that guy's not playing good, they're boned. You can see I feel like you can see Aiden Hill having like kind of an off night, but Vegas still, pulling together, having a good game because they're so deep. I think if Bobrovsky goes out, Florida crumbles. They crumble.
Oh, quick.
That whole team crumbles. Yeah.
And I wonder if his mentality's not there anymore. Like, as the playoffs go on and he gets shelled twice, and it's like, you lose 2 more times, you're out. Like, I don't know if maybe he's just not as sharp, right? Like,
it's almost shades of their '96 run where they beat they beat the Bruins in the first round, but they beat Mario Jágr and the Penguins. They kind of hype themselves up, and then they get crumbled by Forsberg, Waugh, and the Avs, and in a sweep.
That's what I'm talking about Matt being a historian. Yeah. I didn't fucking know that.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
Yeah, no, like in '96, like everyone was ready for like a Penguins Avs final, and they didn't get that.
Yep. For sure. In the off season, we're gonna do like a trivia type thing with Matt. We gotta do something. Just test his knowledge.
That would be fun.
I think that'll be a fun video. But yeah, guys, I think Game 3 is tomorrow. At 8, whatever. It's back in Miami, or not Miami, in South Florida, and South Florida. A lot of stuff is going on over there. Messi is now playing in Miami.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The Miami Heat are in the finals. They're down 2-1. And the Stanley Cup finals are going on over there. Where the Florida Panthers are down 2-0.
You know who else is a dog, Nick? Nikola Jokic.
That guy. Yo, where's the DN hoodie, Matt?
Bro.
Where's the DN hoodie?
Oh, next episode.
DN hoodie. Yo, he's the first. I didn't realize he put up 30, 20, and 10 last night. Or 30, 21, and 10.
Yeah, whatever.
He's the first player ever to do that, which is insane. Like, I thought for sure somebody else would have done it.
Jamal Murray also had a 30-point triple-double.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's insane. Oh, how do you stop that? Literally record-breaking. Nobody's ever done it.
The thing is, too, like, if you, stop him from scoring, he's just going to get his points somewhere else. Like, behind the back, lob pass to someone else, they kill a 3.
He's made shots where I'm like, what?
Like, over LeBron in the West Final? Yes. That was nuts.
I'm like, what is happening?
But we shouldn't discredit, I think Eric Spoelstra is, like, one of the best coaches, like, ever, like, strategic and mind-wise in the NBA. And even though they're down 2-1, the series is far from over. I'll just say that right now.
No, it should be good. I hope both NBA finals and NHL finals go super long because it's fun when the games are more, the stakes are higher. But guys, I want to do a wrap question here. I thought of something, right off the dome. But before I say that, thank you guys so much for listening and watching so far. Subscribe to our YouTube. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, all our individual Twitters, all that fun stuff. Our Instagram, I'm actually having a lot of fun with that. So we're going to keep posting there. And the wrap question today is, who is the next player in the NHL to be traded? Guys.
I'll let Darius take the reins on this one. I still got to think for a minute here.
I know
next player in the NHL to be traded?
Yeah.
Well, the Flyers are already active. So I'm not going to go too far off the board and say like Mitch Marner or something because clearly they're going to keep those guys together. But I'm going to say Carter Hart. I think the Flyers know they're on the way down, and they're going to try and shed that. And I think a team could really find some use in Carter Hart. So Carter Hart's the next guy.
Matt?
Alex DeBrincat.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about that's a good show. Why, Matt?
That $9 million qualifying offer is too much for the Sens, and I think they could get a lot for him. Like, I know
he had his down season too in a contract.
Yeah, because I know there was a team who was making the round. The Red Wings. I think the Wings could use a guy like DeBrincat.
I could see that, especially after they just traded away Bertuzzi. They could use it. They could definitely use a winger.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go with Pierre-Luc Dubois here, guys. That guy seems like he wants to be traded. I mean, it doesn't seem like it seems like he's formally requested a trade. Winnipeg, it might be time to shed their core, as we said earlier in this episode. Scheifele might be gone. Dubois probably gone. Connor Hellebuyck might be gone. And this isn't like anybody wants to stay there. Blake Wheeler should be gone, but he might stay now just because everyone else is going. So, Pierre-Luc Dubois, I don't know where he gets traded. Maybe he goes to like. I could see Boston. I could even see Boston because they have no centers anymore.
It's true.
And I could also see. I could literally see the Leafs getting him to make Tavares a winger because they need a second line center.
That would be interesting, but he'd be done like 1 year and out kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Yeah. So
that's like a Kawhi part 2.
Yes, honestly, they're the same player. They're the
exactly
same player.
The same value, man.
100%. They hardly play.
Yeah.
And when they do, they're kind of effective.
Terrible.
Kawhi Leonard, top 5 talent when they traded for him. Pierre-Luc Dubois, like maybe a top 30 center in the league. But yeah,
do you guys want to do a quick trivia for Matt? I think it's something he might know, perhaps.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Shout out to the summer he stay, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, remember that with the helicopter and everything? Crazy.
Yeah, he stay.
Yeah. Matt, can you name the 5 players who have won the Conn Smythe in a losing effort?
Glenn Hall.
1.
Reggie Leach.
2.
Hextall.
3.
Ooh.
Jaguar.
Yeah, that one was easy. 4.
Okay.
Oh, who's the last one? Roger Crozier.
Yeah, he did it. Wow, that's quick, dude. Wow.
Five time.
Matt, hit a spin a Rooney.
Oh, not right now.
Play the music. I can put it in post.
Come on, Matt.
I'd snap in half if I hit a spin a Rooney for the one time.
Okay, guys. But on that note, we're gonna wrap the episode there. Hope you guys enjoyed. Keep enjoying, the last of the NBA and the NHL while you guys can. Go see Spider-Verse because that movie was fucking insane. And enjoy your weekend and enjoy your week. Enjoy the weather once this fucking pollution clears up. Actually, like this level of pollution is always gonna be polluted. But guys, if you're watching this or listening to this in the day, have an amazing day. If you're watching this or listening to this at night, have an amazing night. And if you're listening to this while you're driving, guys, always drive safe. For the Gritcast and my 2 co-hosts, we'll see you guys in the next episode.
For more content, visit our YouTube channel and check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to follow the guys on social media at Matt_Mondays, at Nick LaFlame, and at Darius Dominguez.